Hope you can all hear me okay. And you have to pardon, I do still have a bit of a tickle. I had laryngitis like almost 2 months ago. And for some reason, I still have a tickle. Anyhow, welcome. So I want to talk today about 4 ways you can get paid through speaking. So, a little backstory for those of you who don't know me or don't know me very well. Maybe you found me through a lead magnet, you're in my email list, maybe we're new friends here on Facebook or LinkedIn, or you just started following me on YouTube. So, hi, I'm Wendy Babcock, and I'm an international and TEDx speaker and an author and a speaking coach. So, I didn't get started speaking until January of 2017. I was working at a hospital, and I always say it's just kind of fate, kind of being in the right space at the right time. Hi, Dr. Amba. In the being in the right space at the right time and kind of falling into this line of work. I never aspired to be a speaker. I had dabbled in MLMs and doing some side hustles, but I never thought I wanted to become a speaker. So what happened was I was listening to an Audible with a book from by Pam Grout. It was either E squared or E cubed, and um, in the book she talked about something called the complaint free world, and the author is Will Bowen. And I was in a place in my life at the time where I was trying to really get rid of negativity in my life, get rid of like the bad energy and try and attract more good stuff to myself. And excuse me. And in the book, when I was listening to it, when she said a complaint free world, all I could think was, that's brilliant. What's more negative that we do than complain? So maybe if I could learn how to not complain, or at least curb my complaining, even though I thought I was a positive person, maybe this would help me attract more good into my life. And so I searched for the book, and then I went to Facebook and I searched out the author, Will Bowen. And this is where the fate part comes in. When I got to his Facebook page, the first post I saw was Will Bowen saying, hey, I've been doing this movement since 2006, and I can only reach so many people. I mean, Will had been on Oprah, he'd been in People magazine, all kinds of publications and TV interviews, and you name it. But he could only reach so many people by himself. And he said, look, I want to train 10 people to do what I do, to share the complaint free world movement and see how many more people we could reach. And there was something about this movement that I thought, man, I have got to get involved with this. I don't even know much about it. I just learned about it today, but I need to do this. And so I remember applying. There was an application link to apply. And I was thinking to myself, what the heck am I doing? Like, I am not a speaker. I don't know anything about this, but I submitted my application. And what the thought was that I have nothing to lose. They're probably not going to pick me. This isn't going to go anywhere, but I'm just going to do it anyways, right? I think a lot of us do that thinking, it's not going to happen to us. And it was about 2 weeks later that I got an email back from Will's assistant, Leah. And she's like, hey, I want to do a Skype interview with you. And I was like, holy crap. Like, what? And like instant anxiety and panic setting. So I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm not a speaker. I've never entered this arena before. And so I did my interview with Leah, amazing, amazing woman. And she's like, well, we'll let you know. And I think it was only maybe I don't know if it was a few days or even a week later, I got the email saying, hey, you were one of the 10 that was selected to go through Will Bowen's training program to learn all about the complaint free movement and to learn how to speak on stages and basically travel the nation, the world, whatever you wanted to do, like however far you wanted to take this. Will is going to give you basically a business in a box to get on stages and get paid to speak. And it was so crazy to think about. Like, how did this happen? And real quick though, too, if you're on Facebook, if you want to comment and let me know you're here, you have to allow Restream. I put it in the comments. You have to click that link and give Restream permission. Otherwise, if you comment, just comment your name so I know that you're here. So welcome. Just talking about my backstory, how I got into speaking. And so I went through Will's program. It was like a 16-week long program. And then he invited us all to his home in Kansas City, Missouri to get certified. And what that meant was you were going to present in front of your peers and in front of Will, who was behind a camera recording us, recording our first like real presentation. And to say it was intimidating would be putting it lightly. So I see someone says hi. Type your name or give Restream permission. I will, just let me see here. I'm going to show that. So there's a link in the comments. It'll see go to chat.restream.io/FB for Facebook and give them permission so I can see who you are. Otherwise, just comment your name so I know you're here. But hi. Um, so anyway, my husband and I traveled to Kansas City, Missouri, and I gave my presentation, and it was such a cool feeling to have all of this kind of come to fruition, something I hadn't even sought out that kind of found me. And so I hit the ground running. I truly did. Still working at the hospital at that point. We went through, oh, hi, Diane. We went through the training and we all graduated and we met at Will's house in July of that year. And so I continued working at the hospital until September when some personal things happened. And I thought, you know what? I want to go for this. I just really want to jump in and go for this. And so to make a long story short, I quit my full-time job and I just hit the ground running and started speaking on stages. And I loved every moment of it. And then, of course, the pandemic hit and things changed, but we'll get into that. So here's what I want to share today. Okay, there's 4 ways that you can get paid to speak. The first one is the one that I started off doing, which is getting paid to speak, which is getting hired by a company, a corporation, an association, even like your chambers, Rotary, those type of things too. Some of them have a budget to pay you. So it's getting paid to get on stage and give a presentation and going home. You're not selling anything. You're not promoting anything. Sure, sometimes you can bring a book in the back of the room, or maybe you have some kind of a product or program, but you're not there to sell. You're there just to, help. You're there to give a presentation and go home. So this is what I knew. This is the speaking that I did from 2017 to 2020. Of course, everything shut down and people went virtual, and that's a whole other story, right? And so that type of speaking, which is interesting to me because the more I got into speaking and I started networking with other speakers, I found out that they were speaking for free. And I just did not get it. I thought, why would you speak for free? Like, I get paid to speak. I get paid good money to go out and, give an hour presentation. And I had traveled to, all over the place. We'd gone to Colorado and to Georgia and all over Wisconsin. I, really hadn't done virtual then until after the pandemic. And it's because I didn't understand that there were 4 ways to get paid to speak. So again, number 1 was getting on a stage, being hired to speak. And so something that the people who were speaking for free said to me was that, why do people pay you to speak? Like, why would they pay you? Like, they didn't understand that. And I said, we have to think about it this way. Companies, corporations, associations, you name it, they have employees, right? And they want them to be what? Productive. They want them to be happy and healthy, and they want to retain their good employees. And so they bring in speakers because it inspires them. It helps them, do all those things. When you're feeling inspired and motivated, you just do better at work. When somebody comes in and gives you better communication skills, and that's what my main job was to do, is come in and teach complaint-free business. When I would teach their employees how to communicate more effectively, they were what? They were more productive. They were happier. The workplace became less toxic because that's what happens. And so, of course, the companies then would invest in somebody like me to come in and not only educate, but inspire. Do you know the number 1 reason why companies hire somebody to come in is inspiration? Think about that. Inspiration. So eSpeakers that I'm a member of, they have a little chart on there that tells you the number 1 topics that companies are hiring speakers for. And without fail, it has always been inspiration by a long shot, because they know when people are inspired, they do better, they work harder, they're more willing to work together nicely. So that's the number one way you can get paid to speak is to, contact companies, associations. And I'm going to give you a free resource here towards the end to find those paid speaking gigs. The second way to get paid to speak is to speak for free. And this is the one that I didn't understand because I didn't understand how the speaking world worked when I first started speaking, right? I didn't understand that there's a time and a place for each one of these things. Okay, so I was in my lane with getting paid to speak, but then there's a part because I didn't have programs and services at that time. But then as I started to network and I learned more about more speakers, I found that they had products and services and coaching programs to offer. So what they would do is they would go to networking meetings, events, conferences, places where their ideal clients were, right? Usually it's like entrepreneurs, small business, and they would come in and they would speak for free, and they would either give a lead magnet from the stage or they would give a free offer. So if you're not familiar, so a lead magnet is something that you give for free. So maybe it's a resource, maybe it's a free gift. But what that does is that subscribes them to your email list then, right? It's an opt-in. It's a lead magnet. So they're going to opt in for whatever the free thing is. And then you are going to, excuse me, you're going to follow up with them. And now you have a potential new client. So it's a way to gain potential new clients, or you give an offer. Some places allow you to actually give an offer where you're selling something from the stage. So maybe you have like a low dollar product. Maybe it's a $27, $47, $97 product. And you come in and you give your expertise. You educate them in your field of genius, and then you give an offer. And so you're selling something from the stage, and then people can opt in. Maybe you have a website, maybe it's a QR code, however that looks. And so you make money by selling to that audience. Okay, so that's the second way. So we have paid speaking, we have free speaking with an offer. The third way is pay to play. And this one, I'm telling you, it took me forever to wrap my head around this one of paying to be on someone's stage. I didn't understand why that would be beneficial to me. And again, it's a learning curve when you step into the speaking world, when you had no clue, how it ran. And so I had gone to a conference in 2018 in California. It was Jolene Johnson's Marketing Impact Academy. And so she had some big speakers on her stage, like Brendan Burchard. She had Nicole Walters, Pat Flynn. These were, big names. And what I learned probably a couple years after that was that when somebody like Shalene has, and I'm not saying this is how she ran it, but this is what I've learned in the past, that when you have a big stage, you have an audience that is full of buyers, people who want to purchase programs, products, services to level up their business. You have basically proof of concept. Basically, you've put on this event, you're bringing in people who are willing and ready to buy, and then you want to bring in other speakers. Sorry, my dog's barking, of course. Sorry. So these other speakers would then pay to be on that stage. So they're saying, yes, sorry. I don't know if you guys can hear my dogs barking or not, but I don't know what they see here. Boys, we're going to try and muster through this, and hopefully you can't hear the barking a lot. So anyway, so they would pay to be on her stage because the return of investment was enough that, yes, I'm going to pay. I mean, I don't know. Vinny, sorry. They're going to pay, sometimes $5,000, $25,000 to be on someone's stage because they know that they have the programs and products. My dog wants to speak too. Yes, I agree, Wendy. So yeah, I'm teaching my dogs to speak, right? So they know that they have the programs and products that audience is going to need. That's their ideal clients in that audience. So while they invest so much to speak on that stage, they're going to make probably 6-7 figures from that event. So you're basically sponsoring the event by paying to play. And so it took me a while to really wrap my head around that. Hi, Michelle. It took me a while to wrap my head around paying to play. I don't know what they're barking at, if it's my husband in the yard or what's going on. He's been working in the yard all day, removing bushes and things. So of course they haven't barked all day until I get on live. Okay. So we've gone over getting paid to speak, which is getting on a stage, getting a paycheck, and going home. Speaking for free, which is you get on the stage, you speak for free, and you give a lead magnet and maybe a small dollar amount offer. The third way is pay to play. So pay to play, I think you have to be very confident in your selling skills. You have to be very confident that you have the right program, the right services for that audience. So you have to really have a good understanding of your ideal client. And you have to be confident in selling from the stage, um, which I hadn't been for the longest time. And I'm just now learning, that I do have programs and products now to sell from a stage. So I am investing in sponsorships to speak on other people's stages to sell my programs and services. So that brings us to the fourth way to get paid by speaking, and that is to host your own events. So this can look like a variety of things. Okay, so when you host your own events, you can sell tickets, have an in-person live event, just like my event is Warrior Unchained Live in September in Wisconsin Dells, quick plug, which is a women's empowerment and business conference that I host yearly. And this is the third year. So I bring in speakers to be on my stage because then I bring them their ideal audience. Okay. Now they're not there to sell you though. So they have vendor booths. So it looks a little bit different no matter in different scenarios. You could speak or you could host like a live summit. You could do a virtual summit. Again, when people, when I lived in Chicago, we used to go to nice. Sorry, I get distracted easily. So when you just said when she lived in Chicago, she'd come to the Dells. Yep. And so, yeah, you should come up into the Dells, Wendy, and come to Warrior Unchained Live in September. It'll be a great time. So, so you can hold a live summit or a virtual summit where you bring in other speakers. And how you make money is you are the keynote. You're the person who's going to give an offer. You can bring in other speakers that maybe give a low dollar offer, but you're going to give the big offer, right? You're going to promote your products and services to make money. Or another way to do it is to charge your speakers. Now you host the stage that people are going to pay to speak on. Now you need some proof of concept, of course. You need to make sure that you're able to bring in an audience that for your speaker so that they can sell or they can give a lead magnet or something that's beneficial to them, why they would pay to be on your stage. So you could do it that way as well. I think if you're a speaker, I think it's very valuable to host your own events, whether they're virtual or in person. And I really think now we're at that point, right? I feel like we're at this point where we really need to start getting to live events again. I think virtual events are kind of going stale, as much as I hate to say that because I think it's great. I can sit in my pajama bottoms if I want. But the thing is people aren't showing up. The show up rates are really decreasing right now. And so say you have a free summit, right? And you have, 120 people sign up. You're like, woohoo, yay, we got a great audience coming. And then only 20 people show up, right? Because it was free. There was like no investment. There's nothing that's pulling them to have to be there. And so that really lessens your audience. But in person, when somebody buys a ticket for an in-person event, they're more apt to show up. Yep, Dr. Amba says, or hybrid, more work with, yep. Exactly. So a hybrid event is good as well. So you can host a live event and you can stream it, or you could do a replay that somebody could purchase after the fact. And that's another income generating thing that you can do with speaking. Something important I want you to understand, if you're an entrepreneur and you have programs, services, and products to offer, you should be speaking, period. Because when you're in front of an audience, whether it's a networking audience or an event of any kind, it just increases your chances by multitudes of finding your ideal clients, of enrolling people into your programs, products, and services. I mean, instead of talking to one person one-on-one, networking is great. Don't get me wrong. I network all the time. But networking is about, referring one another, building relationships. And if, let's say I'm talking to Dr. Amba and, I know what she provides with her retreats and things, I can say, oh, I know somebody who might be a good fit for you. And then I can make an introduction. That to me is what networking is for. I'm not there to sell her something unless she's my ideal client and she shows interest. Like she's saying, okay, Wendy, tell me all about this thing. Then yeah, we can have a conversation. But generally, I'm not there to sell somebody something. So getting in front of bigger audiences just increases your chances of selling. Now, if you're on here and you're a woman, drop it in the comments. If you are afraid of that 4-letter word, sell. How many of us are afraid of the word sell? Because we've been taught, oh, you can't be selling people. You got to build relationships, which is true. But most of us have a hard time with that word sell. We're not confident in ourselves to sell something, even though that's how we make money. But it seems like it's kind of become this taboo word, right? Exactly. So, yep. So it's a hard thing. And I've heard so many women say this. Oh gosh, I'm not good at selling. I'm not good at selling. Well, the thing is, if you're an entrepreneur, you have to sell. You have to sell. And what better way to do it than to get on a stage? And I get it. Speaking in front of groups is terrifying, and it's what do they call it? It's like the number one thing people are afraid of is public speaking. But there's tips and tricks. There's people you can talk to that can help you with that. I've got a list of people so that can help you with stage fright. The thing is, when you get in front of an audience and you are there to share what you know and your genius, you're going to reach so many more people. Even with social media, when we make posts and things on social media, you still only reach a fraction of your audience. So say you have a great event that you want, 100 women to come to. You can post about it on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. You can send out email lists. The problem is you're still only reaching a very small percentage of those people on your list in your followers because of the different algorithms and things. So not everybody is seeing it. So you may have, 5,000 followers on Facebook, but only a small percentage is seeing what you're posting. But when you show up and you go to a networking meeting or an event and you're on that stage in front of 50 people, 100 people, 200 people, whatever that looks like, you have all their attention. You are front and center. You are establishing yourself as an expert in your field. So when you offer your products, programs, and services, it's a much better chance than putting out a posting and hoping is basically what that is. So by getting on stage, you're able to sell more, reach a larger audience, and just have a better getting permission. I'm sorry, I'm just making sure I'm catching the comments here. So I just want to quick go through the comments. So Dr. Amma says she learned to say, would it be okay if I told you about? So let's say you're talking to somebody who you think is a great fit. They're telling you all the things. Like for me, if I run into somebody who's like, man, I would love to go to like some live in person events, where women really feel the energy in the room. I might say, hey, do you mind if I tell you about my event coming up in the fall? And then if they say, yeah, I'd love to hear about it. There you go. You got permission to talk about it. So that's a great way to make money. So I want to go back really quick and talk about getting paid to speak. So something I've learned is people who have only spoke for free, they feel like they can't get paid to speak because they say things like, well, I'm in the health industry, so I just don't see a corporation bringing me in to speak. And so I would challenge that, because people in corporations, leadership teams, right? They have employees. They have people that work there with them and for them. They want their employees to be healthy. They want them to be productive. They want them to be happy. And so they do bring in speakers in all of these different arenas, and they do have a budget for speakers. You just have to know where to find them. So I want to give you a gift. First of all, let me find my little button here. So I want to give you a gift of the 5 places that I find paid speaking gigs. Okay, these are the 5 places that I go to. So I'm going to show you the link here. So if you go to wendybabcockgift.com, it's an opt-in, but it's going to give you a downloadable PDF of the 5 places that I find paid speaking gigs without Googling. That's the key, without Googling. Now, you can spend lots of times on Google searching all those great keywords, looking for events, that sort of thing. You're going to spend a lot of time. So these 5 places here are going to save you a lot of time and effort. And I had to learn this myself, so now I share it. Um, so I want you to reframe how you're thinking. All you need to do is shift your message a little bit, because right now you're probably talking to entrepreneurs, or people that are your ideal client. So why would you want to go to corporations and associations and get paid to speak? First of all, maybe you're not confident selling from the stage. Maybe you're already doing some speaking, but maybe you're just giving out, you're doing, one-on-one calls with them where people can just sign up on your calendar. And then you can go from there and you can, um, introduce them to your programs and products and services. Sometimes it takes a long time to get somebody to buy your programs and products and services. It is what it is, right? That's why a lot of entrepreneurs are struggling, because we're all looking for clients. We're all looking for someone to buy our products. So here's what I want you to think about. If you could shift your message just slightly, right, to fit a different audience, which is the audience of leadership teams, corporations, associations, where they have employees, where you're going to come in now and you're going to help them, however that looks. Like for me, I teach complaint-free business. I help them to not have a toxic workplace environment. I help them communicate more effectively. I teach them how damaging complaining is. And so they pay me to come in and help the employees be inspired, right? And also, I teach them something they can take away from it and implement in their personal lives and in their work life. Um, Employees are people, so they are your clients. It's just a matter of reframing how you find one, how you find those, and two, how you get hired. Okay, so knowing the keywords you need to implement when you're reaching out to corporations to say, hey, this is what I offer. You have to frame it in the way that they know you're there to help their employees. You have to know what they need. And that's something I teach. Okay. So if you're looking for those 5 places to find paid speaking gigs, go to wendybabcockgift.com and you can download those. Um, let's see, what else do I want to talk to you about real quick? So what this does, so sorry, I got lost my train of thought. So you're already getting on stages, or maybe you're thinking about getting on stages speaking, right? So now you have programs, products, and services that you want to sell from the stage. Sometimes if you're not confident in doing that and you're afraid of that 4-letter word sell, sometimes you're not making the income you want to make. So what I would advise you to do then is to also reach out to companies that will pay you. This creates another income stream. So right now, I can reach out to events and networking meetings, and I can teach people how to get paid to speak. I can help them get on more stages. And so when I get on stage, I can give my free lead magnet. I can offer a program or product that I sell. But I can also create more income by, you know, narrowing down on those corporations, those businesses that will hire me to come in and speak. So let's talk about income potential here. If you are if you are somebody who is seasoned at selling from the stage, it's limitless of what you can make. And if you're good at selling from the stage, like people that I know, like Alexis Caldicott, who's brilliant at this, whether there's 20 people in the room or 100 people in the room, she's going to have great ROI for her time to go to that event and what products, because she knows what she's doing and she's got the chops to back it up. Okay. But if you're in that arena where you're not that confident, you're not getting that return on investment of whether you're paying to play or you're showing up and speaking for free and you're giving an offer and you're just not really making that much money, you can get paid to speak. Start reaching out to corporations and associations and small businesses and shift what you're teaching to suit their audience. Okay. So I was challenged by Alexis saying that if you're not a celebrity, they're not going to pay you to speak. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me because I'm not a celebrity. I've never been a celebrity. And yet that's how I started out my speaking career, was getting paid to speak, right? This is what Will Bowen taught me. This is the only way I knew to speak. So here's what I would challenge you to do. If you think that that only celebrities will get paid to speak, I would challenge you to go to places like Speaker Hub, eSpeakers, and look up your niche. Look up what it is, what your topic is, right? For me, it's usually communication, um, uh, what's the word? Like problem resolution, difficult work environments, that kind of thing. And I can look at all the other speakers that talk on the same topic that I speak on or similar, and it'll show you a range of what they get paid. Generally, it's going to fall between non-celebrities, $2,500 to $7,500 for a 60-minute keynote. I don't know about you, but I'm okay with making $2,500 to $7,500 for an hour on stage, teaching something that I'm already passionate about. And it helps me bring in extra revenue. And there's ways to leverage. Okay, so there's all kinds of ways, and this is what I teach in one of my courses. Is there's ways to leverage your speaker fee. Say they don't have the budget to pay you $2,500, and so you agree on say $1,500, and you sell a book, or maybe they allow you to offer your program or products, during your talk. But there are ways to do it. I'm gonna check comments. What were those sites again? So Michelle, I would go to eSpeakers and Speaker Hub. Those are just two places that you can put a free profile up to advertise what you're doing. And so if you get the downloadable, the 5 places to find paid speaking gigs, I give you 2 sites where you can put your profile where people will come to you to hire you. Now, with Speaker Hub and eSpeakers, I haven't had much luck in talking to people that I know, speakers that I know, that aren't really finding speaking gigs through those sites. But what they do have is good SEO. So if someone's searching for a speaker on Complaint Free, if your profile is optimized nice so that people can find you, it's just a great way for your name to come up in the Google searches. Okay. So I always say as many sites give you a free profile, get it out there on that site. It's just putting yourself out there, and just people see you as more of an expert. So something else I want you to think about. When we talk about getting paid to speak, and we think, oh, if I don't think I can get 2,500, I'm going to put that I'll speak for $500 on this profile. I want you to think about this in the way of an event planner now looking for a speaker, okay? And you go to, say, eSpeakers, and you want to find a speaker on health and nutrition. And you plug that in, and you see all these speakers come up. And the majority of them start around 2,500, 75, some are 10K plus, okay? And then they come across your profile and you have $500. What do you think are the first thoughts that go through that event planner's mind? Put it in the comments. I want to know your thoughts. If you're looking for a space, say you're putting on an event, whether it's for employees or whatever it is, and you're looking for a really good speaker, you want to have somebody who knows their stuff. And even say your budget's $3,500 and you want to bring a speaker in, and now you see the vast majority of these awesome speakers, and say they're charging from $2,500 to $7,500, but every now and then you see one that only charges $500, $1,500. What are your thoughts? I want to see in the comments. Drop in the comments what's your initial, right. So here, I'm going to put up Michelle's. Must not be a very good speaker. That's what goes through their mind. That's the point. So price yourself so you are the expert that you are. Yeah, they're new. Wendy said, here, I'm going to put your comment up too. So it's telling them that they're new. And so if you're really trying to impress, maybe you're just the speaker coordinator for your company, and you have a boss above you, and you bring in this brand new speaker, you're worried that they're not going to do that great, and it's going to reflect on you, right? Charge what you're worth. You need to charge what you're worth. Okay. And I've heard the argument, well, I've been in health and fitness for 20 years, but I've spoken, but I only really have like a couple of years experience. I don't think I could, bring in $2,500 for a keynote. The thing is you have 20 years experience in that field. Why are you not considering yourself an expert? Maybe you're not an expert speaker yet, but that's when you go out and you get practice. You do those free gigs. You show up at networking meetings, and you really improve upon your speaking. Host virtual events that don't cost you anything. Make yourself the expert to build that confidence that you can speak, right? You know your stuff. If you've been in an industry for 20 years, you can charge for your experience, period. So you need to start charging. It's a great way to bring in income. You know your stuff. Now, if you're not sure how to do any of this, let's say you're already speaking and you're reaching some of your clients, but you're not really kind of filling your plate financially to pay all the bills. And you want to learn how to shift your message and create this additional stream of income. You're not replacing, you're just going to do both things, right? You're going to bring in income with your programs, products, services, but you're also going to start reaching out to get paid speaking gigs. If you're not sure how to do that, I have a 3-day boot camp that's coming up. Okay, and that's in August 22nd through the 24th. It's a 3-day boot camp, and I'll tell you more about it in a second. I'm going to let you hear from my prior clients too. So it's a 3-day boot camp. It's not all day long. I have basically ADHD and I cannot sit for 8 hours at a time learning something. So if you're like me, this is perfect for you then. So with the 3-day boot camp, it is from 11 a.m. Central to 2 p.m. Central. This is how it's set up. Day one, we take your message. I teach you how to shift your message. Whatever it is that you're teaching now, I help you shift it to get you paid speaking gigs. Okay, I'll teach you those keywords when you're reaching out, what to say, and how to create that expertise that you already hold with what you're already doing. Okay, day 2, I'm going to teach you how to find and book paid speaking gigs. We're going to go through the whole email sequence that I use. I'm going to give that to you so you can start, just hit the ground running and applying. Now, I need you to understand something. And I've heard this before where people think, oh, wow, I'm just going to apply for 2 things and I'll get paid. That's not how this works. You have to apply for a lot. And I'm going to teach you ways to make the process less painful and help you get through it quicker to apply to more potential paid speaking gigs. Okay, so that's day 2. Day 3, what we're going to do, you're going to record a small presentation. So what happens is when you're applying for these paid speaking gigs, you need to show that you know what you're talking about. You need a speaker reel or a sizzle reel. And we're going to record a short presentation that you can use to put on your website, on your marketing, and you're going to record that. And maybe it's something you can send in your email saying, here's what I talk about. You're also going to get testimonials. So what happens is I usually keep these groups kind of small. So the first 10 people that sign up, that's it. It's cut off. So if you're not one of the first 10, you'll have to wait to the next one. So the next boot camp, August 22nd through 24th, is only 10 people. But that means 10 of you get to give a small presentation, and then we all give testimonials. We all get to say, hey, I got to hear Dr. Amba speak. She talked about, why retreats are beneficial. And, we're going to give testimonials live. So now you have recorded testimonials, a recorded presentation. You have all the tools you need to hit the ground running for your paid speaking business to create extra income. So I want to show you real quick. Is anything in the chats? Okay. I want to show you what prior clients have said. So I'm going to bring this up real quick.
Wendy Babcock, I was sure 100% I could not get paid to speak. I know how to go and get speaking gigs and speak on stages and get paid after I speak. But when I spoke with Wendy and she told me I could get paid to speak, I said, no, unless you're a name, unless you've got a big following or something like that, there's no draw. Nowadays, you can't get paid to speak. Maybe before, but not now. She proved me wrong.
I did not have any idea going into this how much I would take out of it.
I was absolutely blown away. I've seen her on stage before. She's very dynamic, very funny, lots of fun to watch, but also has a great message. But I will tell you that if you're looking to get speaking engagements, I don't know who you could hire that would do a better job for you.
What? So they'll actually pay me to talk about what I do. And I was blown away by that. And so if you think you can't get paid to speak, think again.
My name is Nicole Magic, and I am the Empowerment Alchemist. I have been working with Wendy on several different levels, and one of the things that I had was going from non-paid speaking gigs to finding paid speaking engagements. It's a completely different animal, and it can consume far too much of your time if you don't know what you're doing or where to begin.
I felt compelled to do this because I have been speaking for a while for free. And Wendy just really tweaked my brain by asking me a very simple question when we had a conversation around this. She said, "You're not getting paid to speak." I'd be really interested in knowing why that is.
I've never been more happy to be wrong, because now I have another revenue stream in my business. I have all these other things going in my business, but now I can go and speak and do what I love, which is helping others and speaking and making an impact from the stage, and get paid for it at the same time. So
here's what Wendy does that I think, and I've shared this with her before too. She does such an amazing job of bringing value, real things that people can use. And she does it in such an incredibly comfortable and easy way. She likes to make these groups small. And the reason why she does is because then she can give specific feedback to you. This is not like sitting in a big audience and trying to glean how you could make that work with your situation. She actually wants to know what you do, and she wants to help you figure out how to do it better. The ideas that just kind of pour out from her are absolutely amazing.
Working with Wendy has taken the overwhelm out of the equation. She showed me an easy way to implement a system for preparing for, finding, and solidifying paid speaking engagements. I felt supported the entire time and never felt lost in the sea of information that's out there, because that's scary. I love what she's doing, and I'm so excited getting correspondence back from audiences that I enjoy speaking to.
And attend her boot camp, because now she'll take what you talk about and make it marketable to the corporations and the people that will pay you to speak. And so I can't thank Wendy enough, because she has just transformed my business and my life.
I'm so grateful for the training that Wendy Babcock has given me, because when I was at her paid speaker boot camp, I loved that it was all condensed into 3 days. As someone who's busy in their business, I didn't want to learn how to do this over the course of 6 months. I wanted to learn it and do it and implement it. So I loved that it was in a format that was over the course of 3 days. Well, what was great was I didn't feel fire hosed. It was consumable. It was easy to follow. It was, okay, start here. Okay, let's do that. Okay, now we're going to do this. So it was such a great experience overall to learn how to get paid for speaking before you get on stage. So if you're considering doing the paid speaker boot camp and you think you can't get paid like I did, I highly recommend you have a conversation with Wendy, and I highly recommend you go to the paid speaker boot camp.
Wendy really brings her heart into it, and she really is here to serve. And so she's been so generous with her time. She's giving us follow-up options, things that are bigger and outside of the boot camp that I know will benefit us. And so even if you think you can't ever get paid to speak, or you're not a speaker, or this is not the main core of your business, there is so much worth it. You need to come to her boot camp. You need to talk to Wendy. You need to sign up. She will unlock all kinds of potential that you didn't even know you had.
So if you're interested in going through a program that's going to make you get where you need to be, hire Wendy.
Awesome. So the 3-day paid speaker boot camp is what they were all speaking of. So the next one coming up is August 22nd through 24th. And it's 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm capping this at 10 people. So it's the first 10 people that sign up. The other thing is this is the 4th boot camp that I've done. And I've only done it at the introductory price of $9.97. This is the last time I'm offering it at that price. So after this boot camp, it's going to go up to $14.97, which is the full price of the boot camp. So I'm going to put down on the bottom of the screen here the dates and the link if you're interested. Again, it's only the first 10 people who sign up will get that price of $9.97. There's payment plans as well. So if you can't do the full price today, then there's a 2-month plan or a 3-month plan. This also includes my speaker support group. So once a month, we meet on a Monday, the last Monday of the month at 2 p.m. And I bring in guest speakers that will help you with your speaking business, whether that's, a confidence coach, whether it's what to wear on stage, or people who maybe will give you other options to find paid speaking gigs. I bring in experts, or we have work days. Sometimes it's just a day where I'm like, all right, let's get together at 2:00 today. Everyone's going to use that time to get stuff done and apply for their paid speaking gigs. And then it's that great time for you to ask questions and get the answers that you need. So I'm there to support you well after the boot camp. You're not going to go through the boot camp and just be left to your own devices. Okay, so you'll still have access with me. Excuse me. You'll still have access with me, and I'll help nurture your speaking career because I want you to get paid. I don't want you to take my boot camp if you only come and learn and then don't implement anything. That's a waste of your time, your energy, and your money. I want you to hit the ground running. And the thing is with the $997 price tag, you're going to make that back in your first paid speaking gig. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't want you to charge less than $1,500. That's the minimum that I want you to charge for your first paid speaking engagement. So the return on investment is not too shabby, I would say. So, but this is the last time I'm offering the 3-day paid speaking boot camp at that price tag. And again, it's only the first 10 people because I like to keep it small. When we get too many people in the program, it's hard for me, like Jean had mentioned in the video, it's hard for me to give you that one-on-one time during that group coaching because I do speak to you directly for each of you. So we'll talk about your specific topic and I will listen to what you do and I will help you shift your message and teach you how you can get paid to speak. Okay, so the offer is in the comments there. Here, hold on one second. There's a QR code too here somewhere. I'm learning Restream, guys. Okay, that's captions. Hang on. Oh, that's the ticker. That's what. Well, maybe I won't put that there. So anyways, it's paidspeakingbootcamp.com is the link. I will put that down here in the comments. paidspeakingbootcamp.com. Okay, and that's August 22nd through 24th. Again, this is the last time I'm offering at that price. I just can't. Oh, there it is. There we go. There's the QR code. So you can scan it there for the 3-day paid speaker bootcamp. Scan the QR code. Again, this is the last time I'm offering at that price because people are really having great results with it. After the first bootcamp, one of my clients within the first month and a half got a $2,500 paid speaking gig. I'd say that was worth her money for sure. So the price is going up after this month, but you can get it for $997 and you can pay in installments. You can do a 2-month or a 3-month installments to fit your budget. So I hope you join us again, first 10 people, and it's August 22nd through 24th. So thank you so much. If you haven't already grabbed the free gift, it's the 5 places to find paid speaking gigs, and that's wendybabcockgift.com if you want to grab those. I see some people have already grabbed that. Otherwise, I will let you all go for the day. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you got something valuable today on how to get paid to speak. Again, those 4 ways are getting paid to speak, getting on stage and getting paid to speak. 2, speaking for free, giving a lead magnet, giving an offer. 3 is going to be pay to play. You pay to be on someone else's stage. And 4, hosting your own events. All they're great options. And honestly, if you're a serious speaker, I think you should be doing all 4 things to not leave any money on the table. You should be doing all 4 things. So if I can help you with this one, getting paid to speak, join my boot camp. All right, so if you have any questions, you can also reach me. I'll put my email in the comments here. If you have any questions or you want to connect with me first to make sure it's a good fit, you can reach out at info@wendybabcock.com. Awesome. All right, well, thank you so much for joining, everyone. I will